Okay. Today is the Wednesday, March 9th. This is the update for Wednesday, March 9th. It's 10:30 in the morning. We're checking Wanda's pads now about every 24 hours because she has the catheter in and she's peeing, and thank God she hasn't defecated since she came home, so she hasn't soiled herself. She had a problem with using a bathroom before this. The second COVID shot turned her intestines completely off, and we had to start using 3X-Lax pills to make her poop. And we were dealing with that, and then there was a little bit of confusion that came with that, and we were dealing with that, and then when the AFib report came down, I wasn't surprised, and I originally talked to them about lowering the dose to half the dose to 75 milligram for the Pradaxa, and I wish I'd have pushed them, but I didn't, because she had genuine AFib. She had genuine problems, and I'm not a doctor, and I understand the idea of you've got to hit these. If she does have blood clots, you want to put the medicine in, but you got to understand this. You put the medicine in, as soon as you loosen that blood clot, you want that medicine to be so thick in that blood that as soon as that blood clot comes loose, that medicine dissolves it. You're trying to stop it from moving to the brain, and that's why I didn't fight for the 75 milligram dose. I wish I had, but there's no way of knowing what could have happened. In any case, the state of Wanda's health is, she is completely comatose now, unable to do anything. She can occasionally open her eyes when there's pain from moving her. She does know that people are here. Yesterday was a good day because we got her two friends, the two people that have been her brother and sister for almost 40 years, came down and saw her, and they stayed for a couple of hours, and they're just salt of the earth people, just hard working, almost broke all the time people just like me and just like Wanda was. You know, we working people, we don't live like kings. Queens. We live paycheck to paycheck, and that's why it's so important to have health insurance, and it's so important to take care of yourself. And anyway, I bathed Wanda at starting at about 9:30. I started bathing her with I used Aveeno body wash and Vagisil odor block soap, which is something that women use. The whole Vagisil line is, if I could send a shout out to you guys and gals, the chemists who work at Vagisil, I'd say thank you, because numerous times we've had to deal with yeast infections on my wife's legs where that fat fold was over them. And I mean, I'm just telling you, it's when a diabetic has a fat fold and has sweat, I mean, the yeast just explodes. So you have to fight it and fight it. And that Vagisil soap really helped. And also the Vagisil powder helped. And the Monostat 7 ointment really, that Monostat 7 ointment goes after that stuff. So these are things you gotta help with, guys, if you have a wife especially if you have a wife that's large. Because if she gets sick, you're gonna have to be there for her. So anyway, I washed her up and I rolled her over. And I worked on her bed sores, and they were a little bit worse, but they weren't near as bad. And I want to praise to God that they weren't as bad as I thought they were going to be. Praise to God. Now today, the bed she's laying in is almost like a bowl, and the bowl she's been sitting on the side you see her on of the bowl for ever since she's been back, and that's where a lot of her pressure sore is coming from. So today, when the nurse comes, we're going to slide her over. She's sitting on a blanket anyway. We're going to slide her over and try to turn her over the other way. I'm a little concerned that she's been laying this way the whole time she's here. She may present with some breathing problems. If she does, we'll move her right back to the other side of the bed. But we did get the morphine for her. And she's on a morphine, small dose of morphine every 2 hours for pain. And I saw this with my mother when she had lung cancer and she was dying. The morphine is a godsend because it lets a person be in a dream state. If they're conscious, it can create problems because their brain is always trying to reorient where they're at. But if they're unconscious, it's actually a super blessing. In this case, it's a super blessing. I'm just praying to God. God, please turn her body off because, look, let me tell you something about working people. I'm going to tell you something about working people. And all you people out there who sit at computers, you know, you computer people are working people too, but you know who I'm talking about. These bodies that we have where we do physical labor, how we make our living, we're proud of them. We're proud of what they let us do. We're proud of how they let us live and how they let us make a living, and they're a true blessing from God. And my wife's body's the same way. She was a sturdy woman. She was not some little bony something, which, you know what? If you're bony, great for you, because guess what? You actually have a health advantage over a lot of people. So God bless you. Anyway, her body is going to keep her around a lot longer than her brain is going to be able to be with it. And her spirit's going to be trapped in that body for a while. Now, I have a deep and abiding belief and fear in God. That God is here watching, and that God in His time will take my wife, and I know He will. But I just have to do all the things right for my wife that I can. And I will give her those doses of medicine, and we will continue to clean her, and we will continue to dress her bed sores, and we will continue to treat her with love and care until the last breath comes out of her body and she goes home to God. And then we will continue to treat her with love and care because we will get her body where she wanted it to be, and we will do with that body what she wanted to be done, which is to be cremated. And so it's about finishing your wedding vows. And you know, I always tell people when you need to be careful about getting married, and I mean it, because you're not getting married to your wife. If you're a husband, you're not getting married to your wife. If you're a wife, you're not getting married to your husband. You're making a promise in the eyes of God, and I know that there are people who live in a world of facts, numbers, and reality that say there's no God, and that's nonsense. Well, it's not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you don't feel the presence of God in your life every day. The only reason I'm alive is because of God. So, in any case, that's the update. Wanda's getting morphine. I never thought, a lot of things I never thought, because I never went through this, you know. And, but I never thought that giving my wife morphine would make me, would release some of the agony of watching her die. Because I've seen people die. I saw my mom die. I wasn't with her when she died, but I saw her dying. I watched my good friend Harry die, and I watched his wife Shirley and his daughter Karen suffer over that for years. That was very tough, because Harry was a wonderful person, just like Wanda's a wonderful person. So anyway, we're just waiting for God to come get her. I'm giving her a morphine every 2 hours. She's cleaned up. The pads are cleaned up. And we're going to keep going on. That's the update for today. I pray to God you never have to go through this. But I'm telling all of you now, everyone who's getting older and you love somebody, this is coming your way. So you need to prepare for it. You need to One thing I would say to everyone is, especially if you have a loved one and you have private insurance, is to, if you like your private insurance, the biggest mistake I ever made was not going ahead and getting, well, not the biggest mistake, one of the mistakes that we made was not getting Medicare and keeping her Kaiser insurance. I don't know if I could do that, but I should have paid for it out of pocket. But we didn't. I don't think it would have made any difference of what happened here, but I don't know. Anyway, that's the update. She's still suffering, but she's asleep now almost all the time, and the morphine's keeping her from having to deal with where she's at right now. And I've just cleaned her so I don't have to move her again for another 24 hours, and she's clean and at home, and we're waiting. So God bless all y'all, and I hope y'all have a good day. I just keep updating every day until she passes, and then we'll give you updates on that too. So thanks for watching this video.